So I think it's important that dog trainers understand that they need to speak to the pet dog owners in a way they can relate to, in a language that they understand, and they'll much easier get on board with what you want you to do with your dog if you speak to them like that. Hello me bonny bairns, and welcome to the Superhero Dog Owner Show. We are into episode 17.
Wow.
And it's December, and it's raining.
You can tell.
And it's horrible, it's cold. So we're into December, but we're not going to mention the C word, Alex. No, we're not ever going to mention that C word.
Oh, I was going to say.
But I'm talking about Christmas. We're going to leave that for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Not quite yet.
No, definitely not quite yet. No. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Yeah, we've binged on guests the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Some brilliant guests the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. But my ego can't take any more competition, so I thought I would just have a chat with you today about dog trainers, really. Yeah, and I'm going to try and be a dog trainer.
Try and be a dog trainer. Are you not a dog trainer?
Well, I am a dog trainer, I suppose. Yeah, but I like to keep things a little bit more simple than some dog trainers out there.
That's true.
Might be partly because I don't know much of the complicated stuff, but part of it is mainly because I just think that pet dog owners, you know, they don't need to know a lot of the complicated stuff, and they don't want to know a lot of the complicated stuff. So here's an example for you, Alex. If I was to say to you that I was suffering, I've been to the doctors, and I need to go to the doctors because I'm suffering from cephalgia.
Oh dear. I don't know what that is. Does it itch?
Doesn't it? And I said the cephalgia was so bad that I needed to be given a dose of acetaminophen.
Ah, good grief. Well, it sounds serious, whatever it is.
Well, it's not actually, it's just a headache.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's the proper lingo.
Cephalgia is the medical term for a headache, and acetaminophen is
paracetamol?
Yes!
Yeah,
good lad! A little bit of a druggy, too much knowledge you've got there.
I only ever buy 2 packs at once.
So that's a prime example of, you know, there are some words that you know, obviously doctors will use in their day-to-day doctoring business that they do, saying to the patients and stuff. But we, as you know, the general public, we don't really know all that stuff, do we?
No,
you know,
we don't. You know what it is, what it does, and that's it.
And that's all we care about. Yeah, and it's a similar thing with dog training, because I think a lot of dog trainers sometimes they get a bit bogged down with words and with explanations for things that pet dog owners, in my experience certainly, and I'm sure a lot of other dog trainers will back me up with this, they don't really want to know about. You know, dog owners aren't bothered about, you know, behavioural quadrants or operant conditioning. And they couldn't give a monkeys if you didn't say cue or command. They just want their dog to stay next to them in the park, you know. So they don't even want to train their dogs a lot of the time. But as we don't either, I mean, we've got a car, but I don't necessarily want to know how to engineer the car. I just care that it goes, you know. And
that's true.
I know that when it breaks, I need to take it to the garage. And if you want to be more hands-on, then you can be. Obviously, you can learn more. But I think keeping it nice and simple is definitely the way to go. Mm-hmm. And I think if you speak to pet dog owners, who are our audience for the show as well, and I hope I speak in a language that you can understand. And the feedback certainly suggests that we do. You know, definitely. So I think it's important that dog trainers understand that they need to speak to the pet dog owners in a way they can relate to, in a language that they understand, and they'll much easier get on board with what you want you to do with your dog if you speak to them like that. But there is a couple of easier words that I would like to explain and talk about today, and two of them are consequence and association.
Oh well, they're not so bad. I know what they mean.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. But do you know what they mean in terms of dog training?
Well. No, maybe not.
Maybe not. You might actually, Alex. You might actually. Okay. So here's an example for you. So Beth likes to do a bit of baking. My Beth, you know, she bakes cakes. You know, because I like eating cakes. So she likes baking cakes, and so a few years ago she invested in a nice KitchenAid mixer. You know, it was quite a lot of money.
Other mixers are available.
Definitely, yeah. Still no sponsor.
Not Debenhams or anything.
But so she would make the cake in the mixer, in the KitchenAid mixer, and it has like a nice kind of whir, like a, and just in case you didn't know what a whir was, and what used to happen was when she finished making the thing, and there was a little bit of sort of stuff left in the bottom of the bowl, she used to give it to Barry.
I bet he'd love that.
Well, yeah, you can imagine, can't you? So what used to happen was Barry used to. Obviously, as soon as she used to crank up the KitchenAid and start making stuff, Barry used to be along that kitchen like a shot, after a couple of times, because Barry would associate the noise with him getting a little bit of treat,
Which is fairly simple, isn't it?
Yeah,
one thing happens and then
exactly, yeah. It's more kind of Pavlova's dog than Pavlov's dog. Yeah, but
very good. I like that.
Thank you. But so what I think that applies to pet dog owners is that if you think about the problem, the places where you have the most problems with your dog are probably usually going to be, when you're out in the park and stuff like that, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Certainly a lot of people we speak to, they have more problems in the park than they do in the house. The dog's normally pretty well behaved in the house, but at the park he less control, he's interested in other things, and that's because often the dog associates going to the park with doing things that don't involve the owner.
Of course, yeah.
And it doesn't take a dog, and certainly it doesn't take a puppy very long even, to get the idea that going to the park means that he can, chase leaves or run after pheasants or play with other dogs, that kind of thing. And, there's, in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with any of those things if you're fine with it, if you have pretty good control of your dog as well. But I think a lot of the problems that I see and a lot of my dog training colleagues see are problems where the dog is overly interested in the other things. He's far too interested in them. He's pulling the owner to get to the park too much because he can't wait to get to the park to have that fun, Mm-hmm. And part of what I teach in my book, if you could pass me the book please, Alex, part of what I teach in the book is all about getting the dog more interested in you. Yeah, How to Be a Dog Superhero. This is my best-selling dog training book. Well, it's my only dog training book, but it was a best-selling dog training book on Amazon. And if you're in a situation with your dog where you feel like you're out of control, you feel like you could do with having more influence over him, but you've tried dog whispering with him and you've tried shouting at him and none of these things are working, you can actually influence your dog and teach your dog that you're the most interesting thing at the park, you're the most interesting thing at the beach, you're the most interesting thing at the woods, and then you will be the thing that your dog will want to be with when you get there. It takes a little bit of time, which is why in the book I give you like a 6-week program to work through slowly so that you can gradually build up the distractions and all the while making sure that your dog is interested in you all the different places. But that's a little bit about association. So the next dog training term that I'm going to talk about is called Premack. Have you ever heard of Premack, Alex?
Don't think I've heard of Premack.
Right. Well, have you? Is there some kind of vegetable that you don't like eating?
I'm not really a fan of like green beans.
Okay.
Okay.
What have green beans ever done to you? No, we'll not go into that. That's all right. But okay, so let's think of an example in the past where you sat down to a nice Sunday's lunch at home. Your mum's been grafting all morning, making this nice Sunday lunch, and she's also made a pavlova for afters. Yeah, she's been talking to Beth. She got the recipe. Barry didn't finish licking the bowl, so that's okay. And you're finishing off your meal, and she left you green beans, and she says to you, "You get them green beans?" And you say,
"No."
And she says, "Well, if you want to have some pavlova, then you need to eat your green beans." Yeah, and that's what like Premack is. Yeah. Okay, but another way of describing this, would be in a little video that I actually made myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to sack you or anything like that, but I had this opportunity a little while ago to explain what Premack is, so I thought, all right, okay, we'll try a bit of vlogging. You're always telling me to try a bit of vlogging. So I took the camera out with me, and this is what I came up with. This is my little Premack story. Alrighty. So, Beth and I are off on a night out tonight. As you can see, I've got my glad rags on. We're going to see a comedian in Durham. And Beth works in Crook, which is the yon side of Durham. So I'm going to meet her there. So we don't have to take 2 cars, which means I can have a pint and she can drive us home. but I live in Sunderland, so to get to Durham I have to take nice time. See if I can get the garland there.
Oh.
Yeah. Just Durham Centre then. Thanks, buddy. So what's this got to do with dogs? Well, what I've done tonight quite nicely demonstrates the Premack principle. Yeah, and the Premack principle says that a person, if they're going to do an activity, then they're likely to perform a less desirable activity to get to do the activity that they really want. So in my case tonight, yeah, I got the bus through from Sunderland. I don't really do buses normally. Actually, tonight's bus was alright. I just read my book. Last time there was people eating all around me. Somebody behind me was dying of tuberculosis. And it wasn't a very pleasant experience at all. But I still did it again tonight because I knew that I could get to Durham, meet Beth, have a nice meal, and have a pint before she gets here. So what's this got to do with dogs? Well, the Premack principle applies in dog training as well. And to find out an example with a dog, we're going to have to wait until I get home and pick up a dog. So I'm off to have a good time now. So today we are in the park. We're back from the night out. We're in the park with Barry and little Sydney, and we're talking about the Premack principle and how it applies to dog training. So just to recap a little bit, the Premack principle says that you will perform a less desirable activity to get to do the activity that you really want to do. And if you think back to instances in your life, this can happen all the time as well. Like when your mum told you to eat your vegetables before she gave you a dessert, or do your homework before you go out and play, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's Premack. And with me, when I went to Durham, I had to get on a bus in order to get there to have a pint, which was a real hardship, I know, but I managed to pull it off. So dog training's very, very similar, and it's just mainly about getting your dog to do stuff. Yeah, it's getting your dog to do more stuff for you. So it can start off with something really, really simple, like just eye contact from your dog. Barry, good boy. Yeah, so I asked Barry to do something, even though he's looking over there at something that he wants to look at. Yeah, he chooses to look at me, and then I give him a little reward. So if you have something that your dog likes playing with, like a toy or eating food or something like that, yeah, then you can ask them to do stuff before they get their reward. Yeah, so Sydney here. Yeah, so if I wanted to teach Sydney to walk to heel, and I can try and tempt him into a heel position, and I can walk along with him a little bit. Good boy, Sydney. And then he can have the toy. Yeah, so this is just me making my dog do stuff before they get the reward that they desire. You can do this in the house, if your dog likes getting cuddles off you on the settee. Yeah, you can ask him to do a sit or a down before you invite him up onto the settee. Or if you're feeding him his food, you can ask him to do a leave it or something before he gets his food. And I like to keep it nice and simple with the Premack, so that you're getting your dog to do stuff all the time. This is how I see it, is that it's getting the dog to earn his rewards. Yeah, you're making your dog work for the things that he likes doing. And reward's very important, because you need to think about what your dog likes. Yeah, it's pointless me rewarding Sydney down, rewarding Sydney with a piece of hot dog, because he's just going to ignore it if he'd rather have his toy. Yeah, so you need to be aware of what. Yeah, I've said, come on. You need to be aware of what rewards your dog likes. Yeah, and then you can use them to get him to do stuff for you. Yeah, which is going to make you. It's It's going to elevate you in your dog's eyes. You're going to become more important because you control the rewards, and it's just a great way. It's something that all the dog trainers do, and it's something that as a dog owner you should do, because if you're your dog's owner, then you're also your dog's trainer. Yeah, your dog's learning all the time. You're the one who's got to teach him right from wrong, and a great way to do it is to ask your dog to do stuff for you all the time before you get the things that he likes, gets his rewards. Sit. Good boy, Barry. Good catch. Yeah. Good lad. Yeah, so think about the rewards. Yeah, whatever reward your dog might be interested in. Yeah, your dog might want to go and sniff a lamppost, but before he goes and sniffs the lamppost, you could ask him to come back and do a little sit for you, maybe, if you wanted to. Some people, they do it for when your dog's meeting another dog, they like the dog to come and sit down, and then they let them go and, greet the other dog. I think it'd be better if the reward is something that you can control. If you can find something that your dog really, really likes that you can control, then obviously you're going to have much, much more control of the dog, yeah? Because if your dog's thing is going to go off and see other dogs, then he's going to obviously be reactive to other dogs coming all the time, yeah? And I like to be in control of the things that my dog likes, because then I know that I can give them much, much more freedom, and I can enjoy them much more, because I know they're always going to be looking at me. So that's it from me, Barry and Sydney in the park. Yeah, I hope you learned a little something about Premack that you can implement straight away with your dog. That's it from us, and it's back to you, Dom, in the van studio. So now you understand what Premack is.
I do.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. And I had to go, I had to travel 20 miles on the bus just to explain it to you. I hope you're very grateful. But what I think a little bit of homework for the people watching this would be is, I'm always talking about trying to find the dog's kryptonite and find out what things that your dog likes. So once you've discovered what it is that your dog likes, and you should have a pretty good idea what that is now, I would like you to think about what you can possibly make your dog do to get the rewards that he likes. Yeah, even if it's things that your dog might not want to do, really. So things like we talked about at the start. When you take your dog to the park, and he's more interested in playing with something else, is there anything you can use to make your dog more interested in you, so that he does the thing that you want him to do, rather than doing the thing that, that's going to cause you to lose control of him in the park. And most of the dog training problems that you can solve on your own, you're going to be able to solve by stopping your dog doing the thing that you don't want him to do and teaching him something else to do instead. Obviously, some things you're going to need a dog trainer to help you with. If your dog is aggressive and stuff like that, and you're worried for your own safety, or your dog's safety, or the safety of the general public, then yeah, definitely you're going to have to get some help from a professional dog trainer. But just basic things, you can, if you're a bit more proactive and you use stuff that that your dog likes, then you can teach him to do something else instead. Teach him to do something that's safer for you than the thing that he's doing at the moment. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly the kind of thing that we teach inside the Superhero Dog Owners Inner Circle, Alex. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, this group's grown quite a bit since we launched it. We just to tell you a little bit about the Inner Circle. When you join, you get a welcome pack which contains a book, a DVD which has a copy of my £40 How to Be Your Dog's Superhero mini course. You also get some audio training, and then once a month you get a copy of the Canine Coaching Chronicle through your door. And that's a 5,000 word newsletter that goes deep into one particular aspect of dog training that you might be suffering from. You get access to all the videos in the online area, of which there are very many, shot by my good friend Alex, the video guy. And we have masterclass training in there as well from some of the world's leading dog trainers. We have a private Facebook group where you can ask me any questions and get help, and be among pet dog owners who are suffering from exactly the same kind of problems that you are. And the cost it's $39.99 a month. And if you would like to join the Inner Circle, then you should go to www.mydogsuperhero.com/inner circle, and you can join up straight away. And as soon as you hit go, we will we'll send you login details and links to the Facebook group, and you can get your welcome pack sent in the post, and you can have all these things for Christmas if you feel like treating yourself. So I said I wasn't going to mention it, and I haven't really.
Heavily hinted at.
But that's it for this week's episode. Next week we'll be back with another guest. 2 guests, actually, Alex. It's our first double guest. We're going back stateside, and we're going to be talking to Leah and Justine from the family dog, and they're doing some absolutely awesome stuff. Really looking forward to talking to them. So we'll see you next week. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a review and a rating on iTunes, or tell your friends about it. And if we don't see you through the week, we'll see you through the window.